Welcome to Naturally Bay Area's Quick Bites. Today is a really special one. Today we're going to get to know your roots. The Oakland Roots, Oakland's newest professional sports team, and a team that I'm really passionate about. And it's for multiple reasons. One is that it's a great team, fun to watch. But two is that they're building things differently. And I think that there's a playbook that we can all learn from. So today we are receiving the playbook from the Oakland Roots leadership team on how to build a purpose-driven organization. Some lessons that I think we can all take away within the natural products industry, and some really great examples of how this helps to bring an organization to life, and really how to root it into the community that it's a part of. A couple quick points, and there are going to be many that'll be brought up through this entire episode. 90% of Gen Z consumers believe that companies should act on environmental and social issues, right? 72% of Gen Z consumers are using brand mission and purpose as a criterion for purchase, right? So as we think about this and the value of mission as it builds into an organization, let's really pay attention to those points, because I think it's going to be more important than ever in the days ahead. The way that today will flow is we're going to hear from the entire Roots leadership team, from the chair of the board down to the chief purpose officer, chief marketing officer, chief operating officer, and head of partnerships. And in addition to that, we are then going to have the opportunity to have a discussion with the team leadership group, and then also to be able to really just discuss some of these points more deeply. So with that, I want to kick this off. I want to say thank you to everybody for joining, and I want to hand it over to Stephen Aldrich, the chair of the Roots board.
Thanks so much, Pete. Delighted to be here, and thanks everyone from the Naturally Bay Area group. It's exciting for us to tell the story, and obviously we're still learning. We're a young organization, and we're looking forward to telling you about us, hearing your questions, and seeing how we can continue to work and grow the community here in Oakland. So this is the group that's on the call today. You'll hear from each of these folks as we go through, and rather than introduce each of them in detail, I think maybe I'll tell the story of how we got here, and then at the end show a video that relates to how we think about our brand to set up the rest of the discussion. So the Roots came from an idea. One of our co-founders, Ben O'Nagel, who's not on the call today, he had this concept because he had grown up in Oakland, played soccer in Oakland, gone off to be in soccer as a coach, and then had come back to grad school, and in a class literally wrote down on a piece of paper, how can I bring pro soccer to Oakland? But when he and the rest of the founding team got together, it really was to try and think about it from the bottom up, literally from the roots up. And that community support really started from the idea of, well, what purpose can we create? How can we build an organization that at its core, not, hey, let's build a soccer team and put purpose somewhere off to the side, but at its core, what we try to do is work with the community to leave it better than when we started. And then how do you build that into the everyday decisions we make around what players do you bring on board? What are the marketing campaigns? What do you do with your fans? How do you even start matches? And that story has now been going for, we're in what will be our third season this next year. And we're moving to a new league for us, which is the second division in US Pro Soccer called USL Championship. And one of the reasons that we've made a pretty quick move through the divisions is that we had this purpose at its core. So I'll give one example of what for us was really important. And just as, again, it's a small thing, but it's important. So our very first game, we play at Laney College, and Laney is on Ohlone land. So when we went to that first game, we thought, how can we make sure that we are, again, connected to and from the community? And so we brought out a member of the local tribe to bless the land before that first game. And that wasn't, oh, let's bolt this on later. That was part of how we think about what the Roots brand means and how we drive purpose into every component of what we're doing. So we're very excited to continue this journey. You'll hear a lot more of details as we go through. And perhaps what I could ask for is, Taylor, if you show this video, and this video was our release video that we put out when we joined the USL Championship, and hopefully it speaks to you guys like it did to us and the other fans.
Oakland, the town. A world-class city where it's not just about where you're going, but it's also where you come from. See, here, there's always room at the top. Where sky's the limit, but roots help keep you grounded. And this is town business. If you know, you know. Some might say it's rough around the edges, but we all know that the flavors are in the margins. It's a family affair out here. It's all eyes on we. Hold it down for the people holding you up. These things matter to us.
It is let's go Oakland over and over and over again, where East Oakland and West Oakland meet.
Show the town love, and the town will love you back. Oakland, forever.
So you can see in that video, the connection to local icons, the connection to our players wearing jerseys related to social and gender impact, in particular equity issues. And again, Mike will talk about this. And for us, it is more than just about the game. So with that, Mike, can I invite you to pick up the story on this concept of the purpose-driven brand?
Yeah. Thanks, Stephen, and hi, everyone. Thanks for giving us your time today. Well, Stephen talked there about really the essence of what we mean by being purpose-driven. And I was really happy to hear Pete quoting some statistics about consumer response to purpose at the start of the presentation, because that is literally my language. I am always talking about the fact that putting purpose at the heart of your business is not just the right thing to do, it's the financially smart thing to do. I think that in the sports context, this is lagging a little bit where the business world is at, because in sports, the traditional metric of success has always been winning on the field and making money, especially here in the United States. What we're trying to do is make our purpose a little bit closer to what football clubs or soccer clubs are traditionally founded on in other parts of the world, which is a deep sense of their place in the community. So where I come from, England, where a lot of these other kind of places where soccer is the lifeblood of the country, Mexico, Africa, Europe, a soccer club starts as something by and for the community. And over time, it becomes successful or has become commercially successful because people have this deep attachment. In the United States, it's generally a little bit different, the way that sports teams are created. They're created to be a sort of financial powerhouse and revenue generator. And when the opportunity comes to make more money in another city, that team will move. And I don't have to tell people in Oakland about that experience. So we really wanted to flip the script a little bit and place purpose and community at the heart of our value proposition to the people of Oakland. I'm glad that our head coach is not on the call, because he always wants me to remind people that we do want to win, of course. Like, winning is important to us. Being financially sustainable is essential to any difference that we want to make. But for us, we have this purpose, which is to harness the magic of Oakland and the power of soccer to be a force for social good. That's our North Star. And being financially sustainable, winning games of soccer, filling our stadium, all of these things are in service of that overall goal. I guess you could describe really how we view that in terms of my role. So I am the Chief Purpose Officer of the Roots. That's not a role you will see at a lot of, or indeed any, sports teams. And my role is really to work with every single department at the organization to make sure that purpose shows up in every decision that we make. And Stephen touched on a little bit on how we do this, but it means that our purpose is not just represented by what we do in the community, it's by the sponsors we work with, the vendors we work with, the choices we make about players, all these things that Stephen already touched on. But just to talk about two specific areas of initiatives that we've created. One of them is the Justice Match, and this was an event we put on quite recently. Actually, the intention for us was, as the various sports leagues in the United States were returning to play following the both COVID-19 and the player strikes that surrounded the recent social justice protests, we thought it was very important that we didn't just come back and play on the field as if life was back to normal. So we actually created a concept called the Justice Match, which was a mixed gender game designed to both raise awareness of race and gender equity, but also raise funds to address them. And we combined the match itself with a fundraising initiative. And basically, For us, it was using the platform that we have, which is we are a pro soccer team that puts on soccer games to create social impact. Another example is our membership of Common Goal, which is a global initiative created by some of the world's top athletes to give 1% of their salaries to a global fund for social good. We are the first professional team in the United States to join the movement as a team. That means our players and front office staff give 1% of our salaries, and we give 1% of ticket revenues to Common Goal. And for us, that makes sense because it's both very aligned with what we do and what we believe in, but it also allows us the ability to have relevance with a global platform that we would never be able to tap into if they were just looking at us as a second division pro sports team. So again, it's using our purpose to actually elevate the business of the club. We have a lot of other examples I can talk about, but I think I want to end my time here and look forward to discussing more with you in the breakout rooms. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Mike. I'll go ahead and take it from here. Name is Edreece, everyone. I'm one of the co-founders and the chief marketing officer. I think Stephen and Mike have really laid the foundation for the conversation about brand, as the next step. Oakland Roots has always, from the inception, been really thoughtful about how we approach the community and how we built the brand. It was a 3 to 5 year process in creating the community advisory board, truly listening to the community's needs, wants, and of course, understanding the true culture of Oakland and what it means to have Oakland in your name and be called the Roots. And so we developed the identity that you all see in the world today. We made meaningful relationships and partnerships with local organizations such as Oaklandish, which really helped us elevate our lifestyle brand and connect into the community in areas that we would have never been able to otherwise. And we truly wanted to ensure that we encapsulated the notion of diversity, inclusivity, the arts, the culture, the wonderful history that Oakland has brought to the world. We wanted kids to wear Roots gear and make them feel like superheroes. We wanted soccer moms and dads to feel way cooler than all the other soccer moms and dads. And we wanted to ensure that millennials can wear this stuff in any environment, at Fashion Week or wherever, because life truly is a sport. And Oakland Roots Sports Club is more than just a soccer team. It's about our everyday lives. It's about Oakland. It's about celebrating the community and what makes us so wonderful. We've pushed the envelope. Mike has said we flip the script. We challenge assumptions. Our video mentions flavor in the margins. Again, it's really pushing the boundaries and thinking and trying to essentially tell people that the way in which traditional sports have been built, sports organizations have been built, can be different. And you can collaborate with Vans and create a cool sneaker. You can create a team on PES so people can play with. You can create a beer in collaboration with the local East Oakland organization and still make that all cool, relevant, fun, and designed really well. So all of this stuff has led to the excitement of the brand, has led to the excitement and enthusiasm around Oakland and what it means to be from Oakland and about our ethos and values. And it has really enveloped well into our game day experience. So we can go to the next slide here. Perfect. Our game days have been so much fun, and I truly miss this. I miss Saturdays in Oakland with the family and 6,000 to 7,000 people hanging out in downtown Oakland. One of my most fond memories was our first game ever on August 31st, 2019, when Stephen and I were in the crowd and, there was a woman singing a song about Oakland and the crowd was going crazy. And I just caught myself in that moment, realizing that this has now become a thing. It's an asset for the community and we have to live by that as we move forward. So our game day experiences look like North, East, West Oakland. Our grandstands are called the Mosaic. We have an incredible pregame, festivity that includes shutting down East 10th Street. We have musical acts every game. And most importantly, and the team loves when I talk about it, is we throw hot dogs into the crowd for free. And so we love to think different. We love to make the game day experience something that people haven't experienced in a normal sports setting. Given the world we live in with a bunch of different events and experiences to go to, we wanted to ensure the Roots experience was an amazing one. And we're able to show that by selling out our home games and having a net promoter score of 86, which in the world is a state-of-the-art, world-class experience at an iconic location in Laney College. So it's been a tremendous joy and pride to be in the position that I'm in as a co-founder and as a chief marketing officer. And we hope to do more of what makes Oakland great, and of course take Oakland to the world as we go to USL and we get on ESPN and so on and so forth. So it's a good position to be in. I'll hand it off to Chris now as she speaks about our market and her lens on operations. Thanks, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for making time for all of us today. We're honored to be able to present to you what we're doing here at Oakland Roots. So currently, I got brought in last year, right in the beginning, before we started planning for our events at Laney. And through the operational lens, we've actually worked with so many different parties, not just for logistics and for managing all our venue needs, but also with the various departments as well within the college itself. And just working off from this particular slide, it is very clear worldwide that soccer is a huge phenomenon as far as sports goes, and bringing it to Oakland and making it a very special experience for the community and for the East Bay at large, is the participation, not just for Oakland Roots and the extended family itself, but also for the colleges and for all the different parties that we actually work with closely to present, our first 4 games. And, it's like I was just talking to one of my colleagues just the other day, about the Laney Culinary program. That this was a effort that we actually brought in our 3rd game, and we had the students from Laney present a culinary experience to all our guests in our 3rd game, and it was the most phenomenal presentation ever, and people are still talking about it to this day. And when we actually take a bit more of a nosedive here, we learn more about the back end of it as well. Currently they're partnered with nonprofits to distribute free meals and stuff to the students as they continue being shelter in place. We want to grow that experience even more. So it's not just about front facing on an operational lens, but also on the back end, how do we include all the different various elements of the community to partake and enjoy this experience with us, especially as we have even more games next year. So that's what I'd like to share with you guys today, but I'm sorry it's not actually attending to that slide in particular.
All right, thanks for that, Chris. And hey, everyone, this is Taylor, the head of partnerships at the Oakland Roots. I'm going to be sharing an example of how purpose shows up within our partnerships and sponsorships. As Edreece mentioned, we spent the first several years in the community just listening. And as part of that process, we met with an organization in East Oakland and Fruitvale specifically called the Unity Council. And they were telling us about how they were working with the Golden State Warriors, a couple years ago. They provided tickets for a Christmas match against LeBron James, which they're super excited about to share with their family and their network, which they did. But then they started to receive messages from the families, hey, how do we get to the game? We don't have access to transportation. And then some of the families started messaging them saying, hey, can we bring a packed lunch or packed meal to the game? And it just broke their hearts because you can't bring a packed, lunch into Oracle. And so a lot of the kids, were unable to unfortunately attend that game. And so after hearing that, we thought, is there something that we can do to not only provide access, to our games, to our soccer matches, but maybe take it a step further and provide round trip transportation or healthy meals. So we shared this concept with Kaiser Permanente as a test kind of case study, if you will, last year. We ended up working with several schools throughout the Oakland Unified School District, as well as quite a few nonprofit groups throughout Oakland as well. And we ended up sending over 400 kids from underserved areas throughout Oakland to our games, provided them with healthy meals, as Chris mentioned, from the Laney Culinary Program, as well as provided round trip transportation. And it was a huge success. I mean, the smiles on the kids' faces were like nothing I've ever seen. And we'd love to continue to do this moving forward and have all of our partners contribute to this type of program in some way. So I'll leave, with everyone here on this call. I mean, if you work at an organization that might be interested in, supporting a program like this, or even just providing, healthy meals. I know a lot of people on this call work within the food industry. We would love to, speak more about that. But, this is a great example of how, purpose has showed up in our partnerships, and we'd love to do more of these types of things. And so with that, Pete, I don't know if I want to kick it back to you. I think we're getting close to the 30-minute mark, and then we can break out into the Q&A sessions and dive deeper for whatever questions anyone else has.
Yeah, Taylor, and to the entire leadership team on the Roots, thank you very much. One of the things that I think I hope everybody knows is that attending a Roots game and just living here in Oakland, it's fun to see a sports team, a pro sports team that has the support of the entire community, whether you're a soccer fan or not. And it's due to all of those initiatives that have been mentioned. It's due to, I'm seeing my daughter, by the way, in one of these photos that's being shown there. It's due to the fact that you've been going deeper than just creating a team. You've created truly, I think, a phenomenon that a lot of brands can learn from. What we're going to be doing here in the next 30 minutes is we're going to break this up into a couple discussion groups. I'm hoping everybody can stick around, because this is an opportunity to ask questions of the Roots, to really be able to talk about mission and purpose, what role it plays within your companies, what you'd like to learn more about, and ultimately to be able to just meet and talk, and let's, I think, really all take on this charge and this charter to be able to use our businesses for good, as Mike had discussed, and to be able to take this in a direction that not only just promotes profits, but also is able to support the community. Stephen, Mike, Edreece, Christine, or Chris, Taylor, I just want to say thank you very much. And now for everybody, we're going to get kicked into discussion groups, just a couple breakouts. So hang in there for a second, and everybody will be kind of flowed in by Lizzie on our team. And thank you very much. Talk soon. I want to say thank you to everyone for sticking around and for taking the lunch hour to be able to run with it. Mike, Stephen, Chris, Edreece, Taylor, thank you so much for sharing your insights and just providing, I think, a really new perspective for everybody on what the Roots represent, how you came to be, and I think really a new way to look at how we're building purpose-driven brands. So thank you very much. And thanks for everybody for joining. All righty, have a good rest of the day.